Turning to newsmakers now, Bakersfield Police Chief Greg Terry joins us to discuss BPD operations from the start of the year, prominent cases, and his potential successors as he nears retirement in April. Good morning, Chief
Good morning.
Terry.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. I want to start with the statewide human trafficking sting that BPD took a part in. Was there any new tactics that BPD learned from working with other police forces to deal with human traffickers?
One of the most successful, or what makes some of these operations successful, is the collaboration. We have for a long time now, our Vice unit in particular, worked with the DA's office and many of our federal partners, as you saw, we reported in this operation at the end of January. That is one of the keys to success in combating human trafficking, is working together. And whenever you do work together, you always find a new way of doing things, or find some jurisdiction that's figured out something else or another way around that in order to get into exactly what's going on. And so we really try to pull every tool that we can, and we learn every time we can.
The LA County District Attorney's Office said they're charging everyone with felonies. How does BPD react to this? Why are some offenders given tickets and why are some given felonies?
Well, it's based on the evidence and based on the nature of the crime. And so when we charge somebody with a misdemeanor or a felony, it starts with what is eligible for that type of crime in the penal code. And then what evidence do you have to support that? So most of the local operations that you saw, we were really focusing on both the supply and the demand over a course of days. Focusing our efforts on Union Avenue, those that are going to those locations, seeking sex, seeking to buy someone, and then we did an operation in a hotel that was really focusing on human trafficking itself. Who is involved, who is doing outcalls to hotels. So we really try to have a balanced approach to both of those. But at the end of those investigations, whatever the evidence, whatever we can prove, determines whether you're charged with a misdemeanor or a felony.
And you said Union Avenue, and it's notorious in Bakersfield, the Blade. It's known as a human trafficking hotspot. A lot of people have taken to social media saying that Bakersfield Police Department does not do enough to stop what's going on Union Avenue. What do you say to that? Yeah,
it's really difficult. Unfortunately, it is one of the historical locations in our city where we've continued to see this kind of activity. Some of it, a lot of it, is outside of our control. I mean, we don't control the types of businesses that are there. You saw, at least historically, a number of motels that facilitated this type of activity and made it very difficult to combat, because much of it is done consensually, much of it is done behind closed doors, and it's not a place that we are. And so we've really tried to take a balanced approach to pull every lever to work with our local partners on community-based organizations focusing on prevention, keeping young men and young women from being out there subjected to those kinds of things. But we've also done other types of stings and proactive operations to keep those that are going to those locations demanding or looking for that kind of service having a criminal consequence as well. But it takes a lot of work, and it takes really a balanced approach, and that's what we've tried to do.
I want to turn now to Saturday's DUI checkpoint, February 7th. Only one DUI arrest was made. Is this a good sign? Is this a sign of maybe some progression in Bakersfield's drug driving?
I would say DUI checkpoints are really about prevention. We don't want a lot of arrest because that's obviously very alarming and could indicate some things going on in the city. But when you look across that weekend when we did the DUI checkpoints, we were also doing saturation patrols, where we had units out specifically looking for DUI drivers, conducting a large number of stops. And in both of those efforts, we only had a couple of DUI arrests. And so we're grateful for that. Is that a sign that people are doing it less often? I hope so, but don't really know. And my suspicion is no, that's probably not the case. However, we do these proactive operations really about prevention. We want people to think about the risk that they take, both in the legal consequence, but also the real risk that they have to injuring or killing themselves or someone else in a needless, senseless act of driving while intoxicated.
I want to highlight another issue getting renewed attention this month, safely surrendering babies and infants. Now, we had the incident on Panama Lane early Monday morning where a baby was found near a dumpster. I know this is an open investigation, but what can you tell us so far?
Yeah, we just don't know the circumstance yet. Obviously, there was a young woman that had given birth and was taken to a local hospital. The newborn was deceased, but we don't know the circumstances yet, whether or not this was one of the safe surrender kind of situations or whether there was some other type of medical issue. We just don't know yet, but we certainly want to remind people that there are resources available. Safe surrender is an important thing. and it does save precious lives, and it gives other people an opportunity who don't have children to be able to do that. But I know it can be very difficult and scary for young women in these kinds of circumstances. But even if it wasn't one of those, if just someone living out on the street, there are still a tremendous amount of resources available, and we want people to reach out or be willing to take advantage of services when we approach them in a variety of different ways.
So say this woman who gave birth, she was miles away from the closest hospital. What should she do in that situation?
Yeah, call medical, call 911 when you feel like you're going into labor, going in experiencing childbirth. It is a process, and so there's opportunities to do that. And please, even if she can't, someone around her, please call 911 so that we can get her medical aid and the baby as well.
And let's finally turn to your successors. There are 2 candidates left. What makes each of them unique? We talk about them a lot on here, but what makes them individually strong?
They are individually strong. They both have high technical skills and abilities, long times of experience here in policing. They're both Bakersfield boys, as I've referred to them. So this is their hometown. They're dedicated professionals. They're highly competent, and I'll be proud to have either one of them as our chief.
And 9 out of the 11 final candidates were from outside Kern County, but the 2 that made finalists were the Bakersfield boys, as you say.
I'm not surprised a bit.
Not surprised. Why?
No. Because of their qualifications and their work history and what they're bringing to the department in the everyday. Part of their current role is really running the day-to-day operations of the police department. It's not something I do directly as chief. And so we have 3 assistant chiefs, and they're all excellent. But the 2 final candidates will be proud, again, to have either one of them as our chief.
Well, Bakersfield Police Chief Greg Terry, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, we'll have a look at your midweek forecast after the break.